Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fixing an extremely common issue between all of the versions of the original Xbox. That, of course, is a sticky DVD drive. Why do these get stuck? Well, there could be many reasons, but one of the main ones is these small little belts. As time goes on, these belts can be stretched out, and if the drive hasn't been used for a while, they can start looking egg-shaped, which causes sticking. Swapping these little bands will typically fix common issues like the disk drive sticking when opening, staying open completely, not opening at all, or opening only for a short time before quickly closing. Most of these bands have been in place for about 20 years now, so if you want to get another 20 years out of your console, let's go through the process of swapping in a brand new version. We're first going to identify which version of the disk drive your console has. I'll put a link in the description for a handy guide, but each of the trays have a different look to them when they're fully ejected since there's 4 manufacturers. If you're not able to open your drive using the front button of your console, look for the manual eject location to insert a paperclip into. Now there will be different locations to insert a paperclip depending on your drive too. Samsungs are the easiest and will have a small lever to push in behind the little hole to the right of the disk drive tray. Thomson drives are similar and can be opened in the same spot, but you're not pushing on the lever to open the drive. With this one, you're actually pushing on the gears inside the drive to open it slowly. Repeat by pushing in the paperclip several times until the drive starts to pop out, and it can be pulled out fully by hand. Now the Philips and the Hitachi versions will use a hole to the left underneath the O of the Xbox logo on the tray. The same process applies to this location as with the Thomson. You're pressing directly on the gears, so be careful to not push too hard and damage the teeth. Now that you have it open, you should be able to tell which version of the disk drive you have, so you can purchase the correct sized belts for it too. The good thing is Samsung, Hitachi, and Philips all use the same size at about 35 to 36 millimeters in length. The Thomson uses a slightly larger size at 55 millimeters in length. These are measured across the length of the belt in case you're wondering too. If you don't want to bother checking the size of the belt, or if you just want to have some extras laying around after you're done, you can always buy a kit with many different sizes and match yours to one of the new ones. I found this kit on Amazon that will accommodate both sizes, and you'll have plenty of extras when you're done too. I'll leave a link in the description for this kit and a few other resources to find the exact size that you need for your specific drive too. Before I get into showing you how to open up an Xbox and going through the long process of swapping out a drive band, I'll show you the quick shortcut that will work for some of these consoles. If you have a Samsung drive, you have the option to swap out the band by opening the front with a paperclip. Now you'll probably need a curved pair of tweezers for this, but you can go in through the front and dig out the old drive band. Then reattach it in the same way. You'll just need to wiggle it a bit and drop it into place, then pull it to one side to get it around the second gear pulley. And you're done. This is a super easy fix that you can do in minutes, but if you also want to clean the inside, you're going to have to open up the drive completely, which leads us to opening up your console. Opening these units is a longer process than it needs to be, honestly, since all 6 of the screws are hidden. I hate wrecking these labels, but I haven't found a better way to remove these screws yet. And please, if you ever do this with your own units, don't throw away the feet. There are so many people that throw these away when you could just glue them back in place afterwards. But you do need a special Torx screwdriver set to remove these case screws. Specifically a T20 bit for the bottoms, and the inside requires mainly T10 bits. There are 3 of these T10 screws holding everything together, and 1 is hidden underneath the main ribbon cable. The other 2 are in the front holding the disk drive bracket in place. Then remove all the cables and take out the hard drive first on the right, followed by the disk drive on the left. Once everything is out, you have access to the disk drive. Now this is where knowing the manufacturer of your disk drive is important. I'll do a separate tutorial for each of the drives, and here are the timestamps for when each of the explanations start. Samsung band swaps. There are 4 screws on the bottom of the outer housing, and you'll need a small Phillips bit to get them out. Once those are removed, you can now get at the guts of the drive. I'll clean the inside quick to remove all the dust, but there's a small white override lever in the front that will get the drive to eject. This will give you access to the rubber band so you can replace it. See how it moves kind of wonky and not really smooth? That's because it's stretched out. This is what it looks like when it's removed versus the new one. The old one is very egg-shaped and the new one is round. Now I've seen people boil these so they go back to being round, but just do yourself a favor and buy a brand new one. I got a bag of 10 of these for $7 recently. It's a really cheap fix even if you have to buy 10 of them at once. To install your new one, just loop it around the gears and you're done. It's probably one of the easiest fixes you can do, really. And look at how the gear wheels move now. Nice and smooth. When you're done installing it, manually push the white lever back in place to bring the laser eye assembly back to its closed position. Then reassemble your Xbox in reverse order and you should be good to go. The Thomson band swap. There are 2 small Phillips screws on either side of the top of the housing. Once those are removed, push in on the clips in the front and pull up. This will give you access to the inside. Eject the Thomson drive tray by actuating the gears in the front so you have access to the belt. Now if the inside is dirty, feel free to clean up the sides and blow out all the dust. You can remove the old band by pulling it away from the main pulley and wiggling it out of place. If you're having a hard time removing it, push in on either side of the tray and remove it completely to give you full access. Then install your new band and reassemble. When you put the tray back in place, make sure the white slider at the back of the gear assembly is in the same location too. Reassemble your Xbox and you're good. The Phillips band swap. This drive will most likely have a sticker over one of the screws in the front. Just cut around it and remove the 4 long Phillips screws from the top of the housing. Once the metal housing is gone, you now have access to the inside. You can pop the disc tray loose by inserting a paper clip into the lower left under the tray, or you can actuate the lever just behind the tray opening. If you want better access to the belt, pop the tray loose in the front by pulling up on the plastic release spring there. Put some light pressure on the rear of the tray as you do, and it should pop out easily. I'm going to do a quick cleaning of the inside on this one to remove all the debris. But removing the belt is super easy now since the front is accessible. Pop it out and replace it with a new one. Reassemble in reverse order and you're done. The Hitachi or LG band swap. Remove the 4 Phillips screws from the bottom of the housing. This will remove the bottom housing so you can pry apart the top. Once the top is off, you can now eject the tray easily by pushing in the front lever to the lower right of the tray. You'll see when you move the tray that the band is a little bit wonky and not as smooth as it should be. So open the tray at least 50% and use the tweezers to remove the old band. Replace with a new one and you should be able to see right away that it's already moving much more smoothly now. Reassemble in reverse order and you're good to go. Now if you want to test it out before closing up your console fully, just reinstall all of the cables and leave the lid off. You can start up your Xbox and your drive should be operating much more consistently now. Test it a few times to make sure, but this should have fixed all of your sticky drive issues. If you're interested in more fixes like this one, check out this video right here or go to my channel for other console repairs. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next fix.